What's up, guys? This is the Gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And guys, now that I have a little bit of time, I want to talk about the news that broke last week about Tamura Morrison coming to The Mandalorian Season 2 to play the, I guess, iconic character of Boba Fett. Some people think it's funny that he would be called iconic, but what else would you call it? He's kind of an icon, he's been around. And everyone has wanted to see him make a reappearance, whether it's in a movie or whether it's to have his own series. It was teased for a while that was going to happen, but it didn't. Instead, we got The Mandalorian. And now news has been confirmed that Tamura, and like I said, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Tamara, I don't know. Mr. Morrison is going to be, I guess he's going to be playing Boba Fett. Now, this is the first time he's playing Boba Fett. In the prequels, he played Jango Fett, Boba's father, who was a clone, so that's the reason why he can do this. And he's going to be considerably older. And that's cool. Like I said, I think this is the way The Mandalorian takes place. It's like right after, well, it's between Return of the Jedi and the so-called faker-ass Dizznee sequels, right? Is that like in that time period right there? Like after the fall of the Empire? So, for the longest time we knew that Boba survived the pit. So I guess they'll be telling the story of that and catching up with him and what have you. It's just, I am taking a wait and see approach. I don't know what to make of this because I really, it's Disney, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like they have this way of not doing justice to the legacy characters, to the OT or the prequels. And I don't have a whole lot of trust in them to do right by the character. Like, what is his story arc going to be? Like, how is this going to fit into The Mandalorian? And that's another thing, with The Mandalorian, I think the reason why it was so well received is because it was fresh. For the first time, we actually saw like well, not the first time. I guess we did get that with Rogue One, which is why Rogue One probably was a success too. It's like we got new characters that could forge their own destiny and their own story arc without having to lean so heavily on, what came before, even though Rogue One was about the Death Star. Okay, I got you. Okay, The Mandalorian, let's stick with that. The Mandalorian is more so about this character, and I'm feeling it. I was feeling it from the minute he was like, I can bring you in warm or I can bring you in cold. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. You know what I mean? And when they brought in the creature known as Baby Yoda, I was like, okay, that's interesting kind of aspect. I'm a big fan of the movie The Professional and everything, so I kind of saw their relationship that way. So here he is, this cold-hearted killer, bounty hunter and stuff, who's all of a sudden charged with the care of this child. So I was cool with that aspect of it, although the whole name Baby Yoda was kind of offensive to me because it made me think about things I didn't want to think about. Like, is this a clone of Yoda? Are we going to see some of Yoda in here? Is there some type of connection? Like, I really wanted this to stand on its own, but it seems like because The Mandalorian has turned out to be so successful with Star Wars purists, it seems like they really want to like just squeeze this thing, you know what I mean? They want to wring this thing out, and they want to put all of their oranges in this basket right here. So you see them bringing in, Ahsoka, with Rosario Dawson. We heard, the story about that. For a while there was a rumor going around that you might see Luke pop up in this. What else? There was a few things. Now, we're talking about Boba Fett, being in this. Someone was talking about maybe the Emperor, and it's kind of like, what is this? Is this like Disney's version of the Love Boat, where you get your celebrity of the week or celebrities of the week who just come through, and it's just like love, exciting and new. You know what I mean? And it's just like, do we really need this? It's like, I don't like that. I don't like the idea of throwing everything at this, because we saw what happened when they did this with the rise of Silly Putty, is what I called it. The rise of Silly Putty. It's like they just threw everything they could think of in there. Well, let's throw some Lando in there. Let's throw some whatever, you know, just threw everything in there that they could think of, you know, to bring about feelings of nostalgia in all of this without really servicing the actual character in the story arc and giving them a real solid reason on why they would be there. It's like the leaks or the news is just get excited because we have Boba Fett here. They're not telling us why he would be there, but I guess that would be giving away the plot, maybe. I don't know. But at least you could give us some hints. You know, you could give us some teasers about where it's going to go. But all of the news has always got to be about casting and characters, you know, but they're not really telling us the direction that the show is going to go in and how this relates to The Mandalorian. And for that matter, why would it be Boba Fett? If you're going to get Mr. Morrison to play in this series and you already have Ahsoka making an appearance, then why wouldn't he be playing Captain Rex? I think that would be a more natural reason to have this actor in there. You know, it would be a more natural progression to have that character in there, because as we saw in the last episode of the Clone Wars, you know, I don't want to spoil it, but it would be a lot more natural to see those two pop up, you know, together somehow, or being brought together somehow, you know, and they would have to make that relate to the character of the Mandalorian, because like I said, the show is called The Mandalorian. It's about him, you know, and we've seen flashbacks of his character. So there's supposed to be an arc there, but all I'm seeing so far now are distractions from that arc. You know, I'm seeing it go in this direction and that direction, and how does it relate to him? So I'm not saying it's not going to relate to him. I started off by saying it's a wait and see thing. So, you know, like I said, inevitably someone gets in the comment section, you haven't seen shit, man, you're just being negative. Oh, you know, you fandom menace people. Shut the fuck up, man. It's like, listen, talking about Star Wars is part of what I do here, okay? And that means that I can suppose this or I can speculate that, all right? That's all it is. Nothing is written in stone, all right? So give me a break. So anyway, like I said, how does this relate to the character remains to be seen. And are they going to do justice to the character? You know, the Giancarlo Esposito character, you know, how's he going to come into this? What's going to happen with the creature, aka Baby Yoda? You know, I want to see a good story. Is what I want to see. So, like I said, it doesn't really excite me to know that Boba Fett's going to be there, you know, and that Mr. Morrison's going to be playing him. It's just how are they going to do this, you know? And is it going to be in service of the overall story? You know, is it going to be for the best? I don't know. All right, these are just my concerns, you know, going forward, because, you know, like I said, Disney doesn't have the best track record. You know, they put a lot of other things before they consider their story and their plot. And when they do, you know, make their story, then you look behind you and you see a bunch of plot holes, you know, like you see potholes in New York, you know, and it's just like, it's ridiculous. So I guess we'll see. You know, that's basically my attitude about this. I'm not jumping for joy about it, although, you know, it would be good, you know, to see Boba Fett again. I would have liked to have seen, if they're going to make him alive, I would have liked to have seen his story, you know, maybe, you know, him have a series or, you know, be a character in an upcoming movie, you know, something like that. But, you know, we'll see what they do with it. You know, you got Filoni there, Favreau, you know, hopefully they're doing what needs to be done and really, really considering the lore, you know, and the story and how to fit this thing in a way that makes sense. You know, so that's my thoughts on it thus far, guys. I guess we will find out. And how do you feel about that? How do you feel about Boba Fett making an appearance in Season 2 of The Mandalorian? Do you think there's any potential here? Are you excited about it? Are you not liking it? You know, share your thoughts, you know, in the comment section below. And as always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. And of course, when you subscribe, hit the notification bell and hit all so you get all notifications for when I drop my videos. I greatly appreciate it. You can catch me on Twitter. That link, as always, will be in the pinned comment below, as well as a PayPal. I would appreciate anything you can do to help. Thank you very much. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. I'll catch you on the next one. Rock on.